You are here to find our target and to the extraction point. Happy hunting.
Hi to anybody who's new to my videos, and welcome to anybody who's been watching my videos for the time being that I've been releasing videos. Just so you know that I'm not just talking out of my ass when I make this video. I have been playing Warframe since it went into open beta in 2013. So basically right after Excalibur Prime became unavailable, I've been playing this game. So I have been playing this game for a very long time, and just so you also know, this game is essentially one of my dream games. The game is basically everything about the game is the kind of game I've always wanted for a long time, and so I'm not trying to bash the game when I come up with this, but we all know over the past year, barring everything that all the craziness that happened last year, there was not a lot of activity to be done and there was not a lot of activities to be seen to be done in the game. And I've come to see that a lot of the ideas that the veterans have been sharing about not having anything to do is I've seen it that it's starting to apply to me as well. And like, just based on how long I've been playing the game, I'm technically a veteran as well, but I haven't done a lot of the things that other veterans have done, like endurance runs for going like 2 hours in a survival, or I never did T4 survival when that was a thing. I never got to do any of the raids. I haven't done a sortie. I've never touched sorties ever. I haven't formed any of my weapons or frames. I haven't leveled any of my focus schools anywhere near max. I don't go on Kuva missions. I don't use Rivens. I haven't done an Eidolon hunt. I haven't done an orb mother fight. I've basically done nothing that any person who's been playing the game for as long as I have would have done. And that was because for the longest time I would always play on subpar hardware and just laptops, and not even gaming laptops at that. But just around 2 or so years ago, I finally was able to build the PC that I have now, and I was finally able to enjoy the game and play the game in the way I've always wanted to. And the thing that's always discouraged me from doing all of those things is because of the fact that I would basically be, if I was to join a group and do that kind of thing, I would be the one hindering everybody else in the mission, because I would be the one whose connection would be the worst. I would be the one who'd be lagging because my computer just couldn't handle all of the crazy effects of the game and all of the loading. And I even to the point where my hardware was so bad, like I would load in last to almost every mission. And now with the laptop, with the gaming PC I have now, that definitely doesn't happen. But after being able to play the game, and even to the point where, sorry about that, but even to the point where I couldn't go into any of the open worlds because my computer was just so weak that it just couldn't handle the open world environments. And sorry if this is gonna be a bit haphazard. I'm just recording this off the cuff, no script, so forgive me for sounding a little bit scatterbrained. But going back to the subject, based on the fact that I now have a computer that can allow me to run the game the way I've always wanted to run the game, I realize after everything that's been released and after all the things that I've been trying to, after I've basically gotten the ability to do all the things that a player who's been playing as long as I have can actually do and get done, like going on Eidolon hunts, going on isolation vaults now that they've released last year, doing an orb fight, going into the open world in general. After I've experienced this, I've realized that there really isn't anything to do, because after I've been able to play the game in the way that I've been always wanted to play the game, I've seen that there is no incentive to do anything else. There's no incentive to level your focus schools if you want to do that. There's no incentive to go on Eidolon hunts. There's no incentive to do the orb fight. There's no incentive apart from Necromech. There's no incentive to do any. There's no incentive to do any of the really long stuff. There's no incentive to get Kuva. There's no incentive to go after Rivens. There's no incentive to do anything that would technically count as higher level. Even the Steel Path that just came out last year, there's no incentive to really do it apart from just EPing, and let's just say that you did it, or even an endurance runs. Apart from just to say that you did it, there's really no point to actually doing any of these things. Even to the point where, because of the way I've been playing, I never formed anything. I never really tried to push any of my builds to their maximum potential. But because of the fact that there's no content in the game that really requires that kind of power, that there's no content that demands that amount of dedication to your builds or getting that much power out of your build, I've just found myself not being motivated to level any of my stuff, to go do an Eidolon hunt, to go level my focus schools, to form anything. Because to me it's like forming all of the weapons that I have or frames that I have that are maxed right now that's just the grind to re-level everything that I have, because I would want to former any frames that I have multiple times to get a really good build, or any of my weapons to get a really good build, or get a ribbon on them or something like that. And so it's like, because there's no content in the game that requires that, I don't want to level my stuff up again. So I just don't. There's no point even to use the helmet system, because apart from just the fun builds you could get from it, the power is not required. I haven't tried to level any of my focus schools because the method in which you gain focus, it's kind of, in my opinion, it's kind of bullshit. Because at first, when it first came out, I thought it was fairly cool, but after having the time to be able to do it, like, I feel like it's just way too slow for the amount of things that need to be unlocked in your focus schools. And then also you have waybounds, which then require Eidolon shards to unlock. And so the only reason to do an Eidolon hunt is to get an Eidolon shard to unlock a waybound, but then adding all of that power to your operator just again takes you nowhere. And so like there really is, and so basically after all of this time wanting to do all of those high level things, I mean quotation marks high level things, when I finally get to the point where I'm physically able to do, and there's nothing stopping me from doing it, i.e. my hardware, I see that there's no point. And there's no point. And like I've always been extremely interested by the story of Warframe. I am a big buff of the story of Warframe. I enjoy it a lot. I really do enjoy it. And there's been almost no, like a lot of people, there's certain quests that they don't like. There's never been a quest that I didn't like and didn't love, that it added more texture to the world of Warframe. But because of that, I always blow through them fairly quickly. And then after that, apart from just leveling some new thing that I've gotten, there's nothing else to be done in the game. You just play all the old missions, go ahead and do other things that you've been doing, and to the point where Nightwave has kind of gotten to the point where it's like, okay, there is, in terms of Nightwave, there is a point because of the fact that you unlock unique cosmetics or whatever you have to unlock within the Nightwave. But if you're somebody like me who's not really enticed by that kind of thing, where you could take it or leave it, you're stuck in the same situation over again. You're stuck with the fact that there's nothing of significance. That's what it is. There's nothing of significance in the game that's drawing your attention, that's forcing you to gain a lot of power. The only things, and like, it's already a meme. It's been a meme for years that the end game of Warframe is fashion frame. So it's like, at this point, we definitely do need something of an end game. Like something like Trials needs to come back, or something similar to the Trials, something that could really add to the, something that could really like, something that's hard enough, and something that's challenging enough, and something that is rewarding enough to get basically lazy asses like me, who've been playing the game forever but haven't really strived to get that much power. Something that will entice somebody like me to be like, you know what, there's a reason to get stronger, there's a reason to do my focus course, there's a reason to forward, there's a reason to go after Rivens and Kuva for extra rolls, there's a reason to do the steel part, there's a reason to do this, there's a reason to do that, there's a reason to keep grinding on this game. Because the game is awesome, the game is amazing, the gunplay, the melee combat, necromechs, and it's hilarious because of the fact that during the Orphix Venom event, I didn't have a necromech to participate, so I just said duck it and splashed a bunch of platinum on a void rig, and that was super fun. I had a great experience with the void rig. It was crazy. I loved it so much, and it's like I haven't had that much fun in Warframe in a while. And like, but as soon as I was done with my endurance run to basically get everything, all the rewards from the event, I was done with the game again. There was nothing for me to go get, and that was partly my fault because of the fact that I could have just done an isolation vault and built my void rig. But because I wanted to get into the event, I couldn't play the event without a necromech. But once the necromech's built, I have nothing else to do again. So we really do need something that requires something that will get, like I said, lazy asses like me in gear, who are motivated to play the game but basically have nothing to do, that will like energize us to be like, you know what, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to get enough power to be able to engage in that kind of content. And this was just the way I've been feeling since basically all of 2020, because I basically didn't play this game for all of 2020, and I'm trying to get back into the game right now. And I have a bunch of ideas that could be incorporated into the game that could really encapsulate what a proper end game for this game has, because at this point it's been like 7 years, and I don't remember how long it's been since they've taken out raids, but at this point it's been too long without a proper end game to engage in, and the game really needs it. And for somebody like me who loves the game in almost every way, but just doesn't have anything to do anymore, if you added an end game, some kind of end game was added to the game that was enticing enough to get somebody like me back in, that would basically motivate me to basically do every other thing that the game has for somebody like me, where I form my weapons in Warframes, I go after Wyverns, I go after Kuva, I do sorties, I do the steel path, so that I can become strong enough to then engage in that higher level or end game content. I have some ideas about what that could be, and I'll share those in my next video. This video was just to share my thoughts about the way I feel after a whole year of kinda nothing in the game going on. And just so you know, once again, I do not hate the game. I really do love the game. I've been playing this game since open beta, and this is basically it's basically a dream game of mine. So if you have any ideas of what endgame could be in this game, share it in the comments. I haven't really gotten any comments so far, but go ahead and share your ideas. It would be great to see. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.